I would also periodically experience panic attacks. And these also just came with that feeling of like having absolutely no control over like what I was experiencing because they would just come out of nowhere. I have a particular memory of being in the shower and just having a panic attack. I had to get out of the shower, had to go lie on my bed and just like take a couple of deep breaths until it went away. And so I just remember the feeling of like despair, the feeling of lack of control over yourself, and just the feeling of hopelessness of like, oh my goodness, am I going to be like this forever? Am I going to be in this terrible state of mind forever? It just felt like I was trapped in just this horrible mental space, really. So that was that experience. And obviously, going to therapy was like absolutely instrumental for me. At that point in my life, I think I was like starting to get a bit more curious about God, but I wasn't really like following Him. I wasn't even like really engaging with God and praying, God, help me through this at that time. But I can only say that like it was His grace that allowed me to be able to actually recover. And like my therapist obviously had to have been an instrument that the Lord used to help me through that experience. And so, fast forwarding to today, I'm free of anxiety, praise God. And I'm so grateful for that because anxiety is really debilitating. But there are moments in my life where maybe I catch myself in a bad mental state, like I'm allowing myself to go down a negative thought rabbit hole. And I start to feel that feeling in my chest coming up again. And so then I know that I need to like snap out of it real quick and do something that helps me to get into a completely different state of mind, into a much better state of mind. And what I have found works for me is actually shifting my focus to God because oftentimes when that feeling comes, it's because I'm like thinking about something negative that's happening in my life. And I'm just focusing on myself. I'm thinking so much about myself, about my life, about what I'm loving, what I'm not loving, just like going on that spiral of like negativity, really. And so I need to break away from that. And what I find is the most powerful for that is just to focus on God. And worshiping really just like helps me to just get into his presence, and there can be no fear, there can be no worry, there can be no negativity really when you are absolutely soaking in the presence of God, because he is like, God does not worry, God does not fear, God does not have anxiety.